Welcome to Mika's World Tour Eastern special short episode. Yeah, that's about right. Join me.
I was lost in my head, looked around, there was no one there. I got out to breathe the fresh air.
So, happy Eastern, wherever you are, whatever it means to you. Maybe it doesn't mean anything, but I hope that time where the sum of the world is celebrating Easter is happy for you. And this is a small special episode where we look a little bit back at previous episodes and all the artists that my guest wanted to bring up. I think that's the most important, one of the most important, interesting thing for me in this world tour is to ask my guests to name a person, artist they want to bring up, and I want to know. It's really interesting to find out because in my country we have a lot of like artists that other part of the world doesn't know anything about, and they are really good, they're awesome, and there must be, and of course there are a lot of those in other cultures also. I want to learn more about. So it would be really nice to hear somebody like from I don't know, Uganda, some big name, some artist there. So if you are from Uganda, you're watching this, I want to interview you, and I want to know who would you bring up in our discussion. So anyway, if you watch this video, by the way, just feel free to contact me. I would be love to talk to you wherever you are. I'm interested. I have that's actually quite a hard thing to find all those people to talk to me. I'm nice. I'm nice. I don't ask mean questions. But anyway, we have so interesting episodes coming. We have coming like Kenya. We have coming. Kenya brings to my mind at the moment. Iceland, about the volcano, and all very interesting episodes coming. So yeah. In this episode, this small Eastern episode, we're gonna look back and watch again all those artists my previous guests have bring up. And maybe if you missed them, this is your chance to catch up and check all those artists and enjoy their world art of world. This is the sign language art of world. This one. Yeah. Oh, one more thing before we go into the episode. We have started Spotify's list, World Tour Soundtrack. Here, World Tour Soundtrack, where we gather all the songs for the artists that my guests brings up. So check it out. There's gonna be a lot of interesting music in there. Start to follow that also. World Tour Soundtrack.
I'll tell you my Bono story.
Oh, you met Bono?
Well, it's huge. It's not just meeting him. It's a massive, huge story that I'll tell my children and my grandchildren.
Okay, please tell me the Bono story.
I got a message in London when I was on tour that one of you two was going to ring me. My manager was told a member of U2 wants to talk to Jason, and John was like, "Oh, okay, which one?" And they went, "We can't tell you that." He went, "Why not?" And they went, "Well, U2 have this protocol that we're not allowed to say who's going to ring." And we were going, "Well, why would okay?" So I'm walking along the street in London, actually in Shepherd's Bush, I remember. And the phone rings. I went, "Hello?" And all I heard was, "Jason Byrne." I went, "Hello?" He goes, "It's Bono." I went, "Bono?" And I know, we know Bono's voice, especially if you're from, it was definitely Bono. It's clear as day. And I went, "Oh my God." I says, "Bono, how are you?" He goes, "I'm good, Jason." He's fucking nuts. Like, he's brilliant. He's good fun, nuts, that kind of way.
Yeah.
So he goes, listen, Jace, Jace, like all this thing. He's fucking mad. He goes, I want you to do, listen, I'm having a party for my best friend because there was a band in Dublin called the Virgin Prunes, and they were like a rival band to U2, but they were all best friends, and they all got on with each other. So it just so happened that U2 did really well and Virgin Prunes didn't do so well, right?
Yeah.
And so they looked. I'm just kind of, hang on, I need to just look up something because I need to just find out where exactly, just 1 second, where they all hung out. Hang on a second. Yeah, got it. So they all kind of hung out in Ballymun, the whole lot of them. They were all from quite a rough area. But they made up their own little society, Bono and all these guys.
Yeah.
So Bono says to me, my friend Gavin Friday from the Virgin Prunes. Remember Gavin went, yeah, it's his birthday. But it's a surprise because he loved you and I want you to do a gig for me. And I says, oh, where? And he says, oh, it's in a restaurant. It'd be cool. I went, Bono, I'm not doing a fucking gig in a restaurant. And he went, oh, it'd be cool, man. Don't worry. So in talking away to Bono, we're talking about Tommy Tiernan, talking about comedy. And at the very, I said, so Bono, will there be lights and a stage at least? He goes, man, it's you too, Jason. Lights and stage. No problem. So I'm having a great laugh with him. And he says, listen, man, you're going to knock the park out of the ball. Right. And, you know, the phrase is you'll knock the ball out of the park, as in a baseball. You hit the baseball out of the park.
Yeah.
So that's a phrase, you'll knock the ball out of the park.
Yeah.
He just kept saying, you'll knock the park out of the ball. He just thought it was funny. Right. And then the very last thing he said on the phone before he went, he went, right, I better go now. And he goes, goodbye, Yellow Brick Road, and hung up. Right. So next time I go to this restaurant and, oh, my God. There's people standing, walking around. They're all at food tables. This guy stops me, who's like, you know, Bono's PA, and says, look, Gavin's down the end there. We're just going to give you this mic, and then you're just going to stand there in the middle of the room and just...
Oh, my God, the hell.
I said, what the fuck, right? So, I'm standing there, whatever's going on. Now, Bono's there, and all of U2, The Edge, Larry, all of them. There's also Neil Jordan, who's a big director. Yeah. There's the Corrs, the band, the Corrs. Mm-hmm. There is fucking Cillian Murphy. I don't even know Cillian. Cillian is from Peaky Blinders. He's a big actor. He's a Hollywood actor now. Yeah. They're all in the room, right? And this guy goes out on the mic and goes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, everyone. And it's Gavin's birthday. We've got a big surprise. We've got his favorite comedian, it's Jason Byrne. And the minute he said that, everybody in the room sat down at their tables, turned around, put their drinks down, and just went like this. Dead silence.
Oh my.
Dead silence. Right? Because, and this is what I found out afterwards, they're all artists. They're all musicians. Yeah. They're all fucking actors, and they understood, hang on a fucking second. This guy's going to try and make us laugh in this room while we're going to fucking behave ourselves. Yeah. And it was the most beautiful thing I ever seen. And I looked over to the left and Bono just winked at me like that. And I went, listen. And the way I got them was, I said, first thing, everybody, Bono rang me to ask me to do this gig for Gavin Friday. Now, first of all, I'm looking at Gavin's face and I'm thinking, I said Ed Byrne, Bono, you fucking idiot, not Jason Byrne, right? So they all started laughing away. And then I said, and I'll give you another laugh, everybody. I said to Bono, will there be a stage and lights at the gig? And they couldn't stop laughing. Right? Because they all knew that Bono is never going to organise your fucking stage and light. No, he's never done that in his life. So I do the gig. I'm supposed to do 10 minutes. I do half an hour. They are crying, laughing, like I am doing so well. So I said, listen, thanks a million, happy birthday, Gavin. And they all just stood up and clapped and cheered.
Oh, my God.
So I turned around and went to the bar. And as I go to the bar, the Edge comes up straight to me. You know the Edge? With the hat? And the Edge
do I know the...
And he grabs me by the face and he just kisses me on the forehead. And he goes, Jason, I am so sorry. Bono is a prick for doing that to you. I can't believe he's such an arsehole. Lights and sound, because he doesn't even know what fucking lights and sound are, right? And so he's gone, thank you for Gavin. He says, really from the bottom of my heart, you're so nice for doing that. I says, no problem. I says, this is an amazing room to be in. And then all I see is this little man coming towards me and he's pushing people aside and it's Bono. Yeah. And Bono just points at me. He doesn't even say hello to the Edge. He goes, you are coming with me now. right? So I went, sat down with Bono and Killian and all different on the cores. And Bono just put his arm around me, got me a drink, and we spoke so heavily about our fathers, about our past in Dublin for an hour I had with Bono. I says, Bono, this is so fucking freaky. You're probably the most famous person in the world. I'm just sitting here having a drink. He goes, no, I'm just a person. I'm just a bloke. His real name is Paul. He goes, I'm just Paul sitting here. These are all my friends. And he says, and thank you so much for doing that for me. I said, no problem. So after the hour was up, we were mingling. I'm hanging out with Killian. But I got to tell this to just finish this off because we're nearly there. But Killian Murphy, who a lot of people listening to this will know who he is, and The Edge and me, the three of us are in a circle.
Yeah.
And The Edge says, so Killian is world famous. And Killian doesn't realise how famous. He's very modest. Yeah. And Killian says, oh my God, I love you two so much. And like at this stage, they're friends of Killian. They know him years. And The Edge goes, well, do you want to hear something, Killian? What? We're making a new album. And Killian goes, oh my God, you're joking. Oh my God, are you? Oh my God, tell me everything. I mean, like fucking everything. Every single fucking tune. Tell me, right? And so The Edge is going, well, I've just been messing about my guitar with this tune. And he was just telling about a tune. And then Killian said the best thing to The Edge, one of the best guitarists that ever lived. He said, oh wow, he said, Sam, do you practice like every day? Do you practice like every day? And The Edge looked at Killian and went, what do you mean practice the guitar? He goes, I think I know how to play the guitar, Killian. And Killian went, oh no, I didn't mean that. He goes, and Killian looks at me and goes, oh my God, Jason, I just asked The Edge, does he practice his guitar?
Oh my God.
So I left, all over, all done, gone. Most surreal night of my life. And then it was all about the fee. What do you charge somebody who books you for that, who's world famous and one of the richest men in the world? Well, do you want money from him or do you want him to owe you a favor?
Favor, of course. Favor.
Yeah. I didn't charge him any money for that.
Oh.
And I got a card then. Well, not even a card. I got a drawing of Bono, like a drawing of his head. And on the back it said, well done, Jason. You knocked the park out of the ball. And he gave me a crate of wine. And the wine, I was going, that's good. Nice, like 12 bottles of wine in a wooden box. So I didn't really know the wine. I looked it up and the wine is worth 6,000 euros. The wine is worth 6,000 euros. And
did you drink it?
No fucking way. No, it's keeping it from my kids. Bono will kill me if he finds out I didn't drink it. That makes you fucking drink that now.
And then I asked you to some artist or somebody you want to bring up in this discussion, and that was Suzanne Vega.
I was introduced to Suzanne Vega, her music, that is, way back in 1985 in Venice during the carnival. It was snowing, and I was there doing a projection screening in Piazza Ducale with a team of other people doing some artistic work being projected on the old churches inside the main plaza. And I was working with this one guy who gave me a cassette tape.
Yeah.
Not an MB3. But, and I happened to have a Walkman with me because I had my cassette tapes with me, you know. And he said, have you heard of Suzanne Vega? I said, no. Who's that? Well, she's from New York, and she has a real special sound. And so he lent me the tape, and we ate dinner that night. I went to bed, woke up. It had just snowed. It was very quiet in Venice, Italy. You know,
yeah.
It was perfectly silent. I kind of just put my headphones on, slipped in the tape on my little Walkman. I cried.
What year was this? It was
close to 19. It was the February of 1986. That was during the carnival. The Carnivale, they call it. It still makes me cry just thinking about that moment, because her debut album, it's called Suzanne Vega, it is my favorite. It just opened my eyes. Poetically speaking, her words are beautiful. Just her delicate voice, guitar, great musicians behind her. I ended up seeing her 5 times in Italy. I went to every concert she did, followed her, and finally, in the year 2000, I went to New York as an assistant film editor for a film called Titus Andronicus by Julie Taymor. And the post-production was in New York. And Suzanne Vega was there at a book signing. She wrote a book of her stories, her life, poetry. And I went, stood in line, bought the book, and I got to see her face to face. And she said, "Hello, so what's your name?" And I said, "Ed." I said, "I've been following you for over 10 years. I fell in love with your music, your poetry, and just want to say thank you." So she wrote a dedication in the book, and I took it. I held it up close to me, and I just started crying again, just saying, God, just meeting a mind that creates poetry, and actually being able to speak with them, not for very long, but, I told her the cities where I saw her in Italy, and she goes, "Oh, interesting." So I was.
Where in what album? Sorry, I'm certainly familiar with Suzanne Vega, but for me it's
her first album that is the most poignant for me.
Yeah.
And the second album is extremely good as well, called Solitude Standing. But the first one is just Suzanne Vega, and it has.
Which one has a song called Luca?
That's Solitude Standing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the second album after her debut album.
Okay, I have to look out the first one.
Yeah, the first album is more acoustic oriented. It has a very raw feel to it, but it's still, with the band. And then the Solitude Standing became even more produced, like, she's on her way sort of thing. She wrote the song Luca and became a hit. But probably the most famous song from the first album is Marlena on the Wall. Cracking, Freeze Tag, or other songs that are just beautiful. And she's very important to me, musically speaking. I listen to all kinds of music. I listen to classical music, jazz, it doesn't matter. I'm all over the place. But that particular moment in my life, it just hit the right tone and frequency in my life. I just wanted something that would make me feel just like I was in tune with my feelings and how she was giving me that opportunity.
Yeah, that's really precious. And I also asked you to name some artists from your country or culture. Do you have one for me?
Yeah, this was a complicated one for me to think of because, right, if you like music, for example, there's so many different artists that you would love and every reason, and try to think, it's not about sharing the one that you love the most necessarily, but it's sharing one that you find interesting for you to share that will tell both about him and yourself. And the one I thought about was Uzi Hitman. And Uzi Hitman is a kids singer.
Yeah.
A bit historic, by the way. And he's played at every house. My kids listen to him. I listened to him when I was a kid. And it's like a one-man show for those years. I mean, he was the go-to guy for kids songs. Also there was like a famous collection they put together, like the first 100 songs for kids, together with a lady singer called Tzipi Shavit. But the reason I chose him was because he tells a lot of our story. The reason that he is the go-to guy was because there was no kids songs thing, you know.
Yeah.
They had to make it. So I'm not saying that there wasn't totally, but they made from scratch. And here I'm talking about something that's very, by the way, culture and life and kids and future. And here it is still in use. I mean, this is the number one hit list for my kids. Yeah. The books that you buy in the stores that have like Press Me and then you hear someone singing, it's Uzi Hitman. So 2021 and still singing the songs from the 80s and 70s.
Oh, perfect. He's still alive, no? Yes?
So he's not alive anymore.
No.
But he's very much here.
Okay, I understand. I understand what... Can I ask you to name a person from your country history that you admire? Did you find one?
Yeah, so there's this man called Archie Roach he's a musician and a writer, a guitarist, and he's an Indigenous man, and he was part of the Stolen Generation, which was a horrible thing that happened sort of from the beginning of the 1900s to like into the 70s, where children were forcibly removed from their families, Indigenous children. But he's this remarkable man, and he's been connecting through music for his whole life. You know, he had a really tough life. He became an alcoholic and lived on the streets, but his music is remarkable. And I saw him live a couple of years ago, and I wrote down this quote, which he said, and it just really stuck with me, which was, "We might come and go, but story remains." And I thought that was just perfect because it's so true. And he tells his stories through his music. And he's suffering in health-wise at the moment, so he's not in great shape, but he's just got that presence, you know, when someone steps on stage and your entire focus is just drawn into them. He's like that. He's quite remarkable.
I asked about the person in your country history admire and also an artist. Are they the same, or yeah. do you have another one?
Yes. So lately, and I'm not sure what it is about her music. Maybe it's just there's a sense of hope and fire. So there's this artist called Mo'Ju, or she used to be known as Mo'Ju Juju, and she's this. Her heritage is Filipino. Her dad, I think, was Filipino, and her mother is Indigenous and European. So she's got this amazing sort of cultural mix, and she used to perform with a band and sort of has since gone solo. And her music is just, there's something about her voice that just makes you go, yeah, yeah. So I really love her stuff. And I think I've just been listening a lot to her lately, so that she was sort of in the front of my mind. And just, you know, women's voices, I think, and people of colour listening to their voices, I think is really important. To sort of, as a white person, to kind of step aside and go, you take the microphone now.
Yeah.
We've said enough for too long.
So that was it. That was our small Eastern fast episode special. That was it. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did enjoy that, remember to like, remember to subscribe, remember to tell about this channel to all your friends. Oh my God, he's so amazing. Look at that. Oh my God, he enjoyed that so much. I hope you did. But anyway, next week we're gonna have a different country, different quest. We have different quest, guest, and same quest, different guest. And remember to come back. We're gonna start a trip next week. And yeah, happy everything.